Welcome please to the JVG podcast, where these G's are gonna spread their seeds of knowledge about the league. It's flourishing with these. These funny catchers seem to be well read, esteemed and honest. Like the man himself, Jeff Van Gundy. They are high IQ, so cerebral and funny. So if you're on the bus, just border on the dunny. Listen to the
JVG NBA Tribute Show.
Hello.
Wow.
And welcome back to the Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show.
Episode 160.
Is it actually?
Yeah. Isn't that
Are
crazy?
you keeping track of that
A
still?
milestone. Yeah, it's all happening in the background. The audience probably isn't aware of it.
Did we hit 150?
Yeah.
And back in the old thing?
No, we've done more than 10 episodes
On
the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
post-merger?
Yeah, for sure.
Are you for sure?
Because
you know
I'm
this.
almost... That would be crazy if we had it.
Because here's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, the basketball week.
Merger was start of October.
Yeah.
We had a big delay in... So sorry, then it's now April.
Yeah.
So that's 6 months. Let's call that 26 weeks.
Yeah.
Alternating W and JV. Let's call that 13, which means it would bring us back to 137. But we took quite a little time off in the summer.
9.
10.
11.
Okay, so we did do it on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
Yeah, 12, 13. 13, 14 even.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 14.
So, wow, we
There
really
go.
haven't missed it by week.
Yeah, this is episode 15 of the Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show on the Deep 2 Podcast Network with your two hosts, Marco and Lucas. Lucas, how are you?
Marco, I've won the day.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, as you now know, I'm a fitness influencer. Starting...
Now, how so, Lucas?
It's a great question, Marco. It's currently 6:39 p.m. I started my day at 4 a.m. this morning.
No.
And I got 12 hours of work done before anyone else even woke up. I had 3 screens on 3 different movies. No, I woke up at 4 a.m. and I was like, God, I'm quite tired right now. But I think one of the things I learned as the day progressed is that if people who spewing out, I get up really early and I start my day and I do everything earlier than everyone else, and I get, unironically, I get 3 hours of work done. I'm already 3 hours ahead of you before you've even woken up. It's not that hard. It's not actually at all hard. And if it's something you need to brag that much about, I don't think you have a differentiating factor.
Right.
I don't think that you're like, there's absolutely no reason someone should listen to you.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Which I totally agree with. My one counterpoint would be, isn't part of it that it's not that it's hard, it's that you're just a better person if you do it.
Yeah, I know, but why?
Yeah.
Because theoretically, copy and paste this over the space of a month, you're now just, let's say it's 4 a.m. and the average human wakes up at... When do you reckon the average human wakes up at?
I want to say 7.
I want to say 6:30.
Really?
I would say I know more people. I would say...
When you're older, you just wake up at that time.
Yeah.
Tradies. They're I assume they're 50% of the workforce.
Yeah, well, you'd hope so.
Yeah.
They're building the offices for the other 50%.
And then evened out by sleepy teenagers and things like that.
Sleepy teenagers, but yeah, I feel like most people that work... 7 is the latest to hear of someone waking up.
Yeah.
But it could also be the median.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I wake up at 7:15.
I wake up with today.
But yeah, it's that thing where it's like, oh, cool, I got all this stuff done before you'd even fucking shat your pants or whatever. It's like, well, I got all this stuff done when you were asleep. In the nighttime. Yeah,
that's the other thing. That's what I was saying. If you copy and paste this over the space of a month, I'm already tired. It's now 6:42. But I'm gearing up for bedtime already.
Yeah.
And I'll be in bed at 9, and it's like, okay, sure, I won the morning, but what if people are going out for dinner?
Exactly right. Or you never get to watch Q&A.
Well, it started earlier.
Yeah, it starts at 9:30.
It starts at 9:30.
It's actually such a bad show. I don't know if we've spoken about this on the podcast before, but I've watched 2 episodes since we lived in this house, and it just makes me so anxious. I hate the format of it.
Yeah, we've talked about this off pod. You were saying that politicians and political parties have just learned how to game it and just go on there and spew their
just say nothing. And maybe you get one gotcha moment, and then you're like, oh, but it was just a gotcha moment. You know? And then there was like there was actually this really good moment last night. They were talking about, how do we prevent this endemic of violence against women in Australia? Very serious topic. And there was the opposition leader of the New South Wales government, like the New South Wales Liberal leader, and this woman who like lost her daughter. Like her daughter had been murdered by her husband. Jeez, sorry, this took a really dark turn immediately. Was like talking to him, and he was saying all this stuff. And then she's like, well, like I actually spoke to you in your electoral office 6 years ago, and you really brushed me off.
Oh wow!
Like, you said this or that, and it was like he was genuinely gave a really good apology. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like, there's absolutely no excuse for me to have done that. Like, I'm trying my best. And I was like, oh well. This is nice. And then the two federal ministers start like just fucking bickering with each other and like, ruin the human moment of the show.
Yeah.
So, and that almost makes it worse. It's like there's a route to something nice here. And instead it's like, it's just bullshit.
Yeah, I swear it used to be really, really good. Like it used to just be like, and it wasn't just strictly academics and politicians. I feel like they threw a couple of like curveballs in there every once in a while.
Which I think they do. Like I think one of the guys from the Inspired Unemployed was on it the other night or something.
The other night?
That. Yeah.
Oh no shit, because there was one of them was on a couple of years ago.
Well, maybe it was a couple of years ago. Maybe I just heard about it the other night.
Was it the funny one or the short one?
No idea. I'm not familiar. I'm not overly familiar with which one is which.
Yeah. Well, the funny one would also be the tall one. If the short one is the short one.
Oh, the tall one, of course.
I think, and like, not the conversation for federal ministers to be bickering about.
Yeah, like, exactly. And then, exactly right.
Show some humility.
Yeah.
Have some, understand the moment, like, beyond what you've been told to go and do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No wonder no one fucking likes you.
It's a sad state of affairs. Just everything and. Just everything basically.
So 4 a.m. I rise.
Yeah.
It's 3 hours before sunrise, for whoever was counting, or 3 hours before the lazy people wake up, as me and all my friends say. And then I went on the ABC radio. I got a call, and it was a literal phone call. I had my phone just up to my ear, and I was on ABC Overnights with Pav. That's what his friends call him.
And would you consider yourself one of his friends?
Well, after the bloody chat we had, I thought I was going to be on there for 15 minutes. It ended up being half an hour. Even beyond friend and beyond contributor. Housemate of the show, Ollie.
The highest honor there is.
The highest honor there is. He set everything up. Thank you so much, Ollie. He's in and out. We might even say goodbye to him. We might say goodbye to him as this show goes on. But he connected me with them. Went on there. Was a great conversation. Had a really fun chat about Lauren Jackson. And Pav was just such a good person to talk to. He was so much fun. He was down for the chat. He was throwing me, but it was just hot fire questions. That's not hot. I'm mixing two things up here, aren't I?
Hot fire questions.
What
do you mean?
Quick fire.
Quick fire, right.
It was like quick fire questions, and I was like, I reckon I was saying 90% of it was good. As I think about it, it's probably about 80% of what I said was good. But then there was 20%. I was like, I don't know what Lauren Jackson's mom did.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't know, Lauren Jackson had a stalker when she was when she was in the States. And there's just all these random things. Like, did she have any Aussie teammates while she was over there? And I was like, I don't know, man. Ask me about the Olympics. Ask me about the last 2 years, or give me like a broad question about her basketballing career.
I've been thinking about this since the first time you told me this, about half an hour ago. Sorry to break the radio magic there, but because you're going on the show to talk about Lauren Jackson, but you're like, I mean, you're a women's basketball expert, let's say. You're not a Lauren Jackson expert.
Yeah.
And then I feel like from what Ollie has said, because this is overnights on the ABC, it's 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Oftentimes they take the opportunity to like talk to like researchers from overseas and things like that. And then when you talk to a researcher, it's like, oh, they are the expert in this thing. Like if I ask them a question about this and they don't know the answer, like there's something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
You know? Like they're not fulfilling their job properly. Whereas you're not Lauren Jackson's biographer.
Yeah, and that was the thing I think I learned quickly in the conversation. I was like, oh, they think I know they think I've just followed her career.
Yeah.
I'm younger than her career.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't have, even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. I think the radio side of it was good, but maybe the content wasn't exactly what they were looking for.
Man, were you even born when she was at her first Olympics?
Yeah.
What was her first Olympics?
2000.
2000. It was 2000.
2000, yeah. But she was in the under-20 squad.
Yeah, that's
when
right.
she was 14.
Yeah.
Which was 96.
When you were born, she was being awarded a scholarship at the Australian Institute of Sport.
Yeah, on my birthday.
Great stuff. I haven't listened to it yet, but you can go check it out on the ABC Listen app or at abc.net.au.
You absolutely can find it at both of those places. But that, this is only for half an hour into my fitness influencer career. Then I went to work. So that went for 8 hours. And then on the way home from work, so that was at 6 a.m. I was fortunate enough for the office manager and the architect I was working with to be like, yes, Lucas, all good, you can come in then.
Mm-hmm.
Then at 2 o'clock, on the way home from work, I drove to Narangiri, the basketball stadium. And if you work in 8:30 to 4:30 or 9 to 5, you cannot go and shoot at Nara because there's after school activities and things like that.
Yeah.
But because of my... Go on. Do whatever you need to
do a little bit, yeah.
Turn it down or up?
Up.
Oh, that's a nice change.
I know. That's why I was so hesitant to do it.
Nara was unbooked. I went there, shot after work on the way home. Then I went to the gym and I was like, God, I'm bloody tired, but I'm here. And so then I just did bicep curls for 45 minutes.
Nice.
And then I went and then I did a sauna. And yeah, I think I finished the gym at 4 and then got in the sauna and finished everything at 4:30.
Incredible. And I was just waking up to start my day. Can you believe it?
Actually, you know what's funny? I ran into my mate Mia, who you might have met at Molly and Jack's place.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been subletting in Northcote, just for anyone that's following along. But she was like, I was like, we got onto it. I was like, Mia, I woke up at 4 today. I feel like, I hate to say it, but I feel great. And then she was like, what, 4 p.m.? And I was like, that's fair enough. If someone was to tell me they woke up at 4, that could be one of two. Could be one of two times.
It might be one of the times that's like not immediately obvious what you mean by context.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, I woke up at 8 today, obviously, or like, I started work at 10. Obviously, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Started work at 4. Could be either.
Yeah.
Woke up at 4. Well, probably didn't sleep till 4, but like, who's waking up at 4? This guy? Like...
Potentially Johnny. He's been telling me lately. He's been staying up for like 16 hours straight making one track. Wow. He's into music right now. It's sounding pretty good as well.
Oh, hey, shout out Johnny. I just remembered that this guy, Donny, he actually woke me up at 4.
No way. And listen to the radio.
Yeah, I went back to sleep. It didn't cross my mind at all to stay awake and listen to you. But in retrospect, I could have done it.
Yeah, you could have done it. I actually can't relate at all anymore when you said you went back to sleep before. I'm fully immersed in the culture and the way of life. So here we are. It's 6. I also before this I ate dinner, and I think that might be all of the things I've done today, I'm happy that I've done them. I'm happy to be a fitness influencer. I think eating like a proper dinner at like 6 or it was about 5:45. I think that's probably been the best part.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, usually, when do you eat dinner actually?
I'd say 7:30 would be my average time. Way too late.
Yeah, I feel I'm the same. I would say 7:30 average. But like, you know what I want to say? If I look at the time, it's usually like 7:47.
Yeah.
While I'm eating dinner.
Yeah.
That's way too late.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I feel like that's probably the one thing I'm happy about with having woken up at 4. I will be sleeping in tomorrow.
Hey, well, I've never seen anyone do one day of being a fitness influencer better than you. So,
yeah, and you've never seen anyone do one day of being a fitness influencer.
Nice. Actually, as Michael Malone said today, in his post-match interview, most impressive stat of Nikola Jokic's today, Didn't miss a free throw. He was 0 of 0.
That's that type of like unfunny cockiness you have when you've won a series.
Yeah.
You see Ant and Kat yesterday when they had their joint press conference.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cringe.
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know. You got to give him the pass.
100%. Yeah, are you kidding me? Like, if you're Anthony Edwards and you're, 19 years old, and you've just like led your franchise to their first playoff series win in
20 years.
20 years. 20 years.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Do whatever you like.
Yeah. Wait, how? And he's 22 or 23?
Yeah.
She was 3.
It's as old as you were when Lauren Jackson played her first Olympics.
What Lucas is to Lauren Jackson, Anthony Edwards is to the minister.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
There's no good finish to that sentence.
Well, speaking of basketball, we're gonna start off with a little look at the 3 teams that have been eliminated from the postseason so far, being the Phoenix Suns, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the New Orleans Pelicans. We're just gonna do a quick post-mortem. Be like, okay, what do you do next with these teams now that they've exited the playoffs? Who would you like to start with, Lucas?
Well, would you like to start with the Pelicans, or would you like to finish with the Pelicans? How would you like to do it with the Pelicans?
Let's finish with the Pelicans.
Okay, let's finish with the Pelicans. Should we start with the Suns?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think? Because I have one view. I actually just have one opinion on this. But what do you think?
I think it's incredibly dire straits for this franchise. Like, I think that kind of goes without saying. My bracelet just came off.
It's one of those episodes,
in the sauna.
I got this up a guy in the steam.
I think it's incredibly dire straits for this team, and I don't think there's anything you can really do to fix what's going on. Like, you owe 3 guys $160 million next year. One of them is pretty bad, and the other 2 had a terrible playoff series. Your coach is bad. I think you might have 2 good role players on your roster, and no way to get better ones. And yeah, the only way you can really make this team better is by getting rid of Bradley Beal and bringing in a more suitable piece. And you actually just can't get rid of him. He's got a no trade clause, and I don't think there's anywhere that would accept him that he would let you trade him to.
Yeah.
Are you going to have to do some serious general managing in the off season to convince him to, to waive his no trade clause?
Yeah. I think, so I've also looked up the salary cap, and the cap maximum for next season in the NBA is $141 million. And you just said 3 guys are at 160. So that puts them so far over the cap.
Yeah.
And the first apron is 178 million. So they're 18 million below that. I can't exactly remember what the first and second apron mean. That's
they'll be
mid level.
Yeah, no, they won't get. I don't think they're over the new apron, but yeah, they'll get the taxpayer mid level, which is not very much.
Yeah. So yeah, not much maneuverability there. And that's also assuming no one else is on the team.
Yeah.
But it's just the 3 of them.
Yeah, and I think Nurkic is getting paid.
Nurkic is getting paid. I think
Nurkic
we can leave it at that.
18 million. Sorry, I should say the big 3 are getting 150 million combined. So
yeah,
that's
still over the cap. So my one thing is I think it's just got to be Vogel out.
Yeah.
I'm very. It's not common. I'm just I think I put the responsibility on the coach, but there was not much playmaking. There was not much moving the other team. KD was standing around quite a lot. I don't think that you can upgrade Nurkic really at $18 million.
Yeah,
he's you'd probably want him on 10 or 8. One of 10 or 8, which both make up 18 million. To play the role that he can give a team at this point in his career. Not the series to play a center, especially if the center's role was to try and get Gobert and Cat out of the game. Mm-hmm. Gobert was the main guy Gobert was the center. He was coming up against the other big as the one-on-one matchup for most of it. Didn't break a sweat dealing with Nurkic. No. Eubanks was also just a body.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gobert was Gobert was unbelievable. He is offensively just commanding space, drawing fouls. Defensively, I can't even remember him like being in rim protecting positions. He was like so active on the perimeter and doing such a good job.
Just very happy. It's like, all right, well, Rudy's gonna guard KD on this possession.
Or like I think Finch's defensive game plan. I think Finch was great in round one as well.
Yeah.
But this I think it was like, all right, we're gonna switch and we're gonna fight, and then if KD or Booker get on Gobert in the last 7 seconds, we're gonna live with Gobert defending that, and he was so good at it.
100%.
But I think this wasn't the series to play a center. I know that's crazy to say coming up against two centers, but the best game they had was when they went small, and the Timberwolves were so ready for it. Like you can't go for that punch in game 4. It's like it's gonna be such a big adjustment for your team to make going small after 82 games of not playing small, to then go and play small and think that you're going to figure this team out and, bring this series back from 3-0 it's crazy. It's stupid. And then that actually took Gobert out of the game. Like Finch played Gobert less in game 4.
You got him foul trouble early as well.
Foul trouble too. But that was and he was the one causing you problems. Or not the one. I think Ant was the one. But then Gobert was another one of the players causing you problems. So I just think it was completely mismanaged by Vogel. And I think that there's, probably 29 other coaches in the NBA, plus who knows how many coaches wanting an NBA job that would love the chance to coach Beal, Booker, and Durant.
Yeah, like a Steve Clifford type or something.
Stevie C.
The one thing I would say as well as Vogel doing a bad job coaching this team, when you have the lack of maneuverability that this roster has, like the only thing you can change is how you coach them.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the Suns are going into this offseason hoping that they can move Beal. Well, I'm sure they're hoping that they can, but I don't think they're going to this offseason expecting that they can move Beal. And then the only really other option is trading Kevin Durant. And it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, what did you do any of this for then?
Yeah.
Then you have to make a coaching change, like you have, I think you have to fire Vogel. I think that has to be your first job.
Yeah. And I think like great coaching, great role players always seem to be with great coaches. And if you do have this, these 3 great players, two great players and 1 really good player, then your job as the coach isn't exactly to bring the best out of them. They're going to do that themselves. Your job is to create an offense that's going to involve them all and keep everyone alert and empower the role players and get 110% out of 3 players every night. I mean, like the Knicks are getting they have all of these players that might have a good game, and then 1 or 2 or 3 of them have a good game.
Yeah.
And then, Brunson, although he hasn't had the best playoffs, he's commanded so much attention. It's crazy to say about Tom Thibodeau, but he's, compared to Vogel, he's done a much better job. That's I think that's the step for the Suns.
And Tom Thibodeau's roster is a Tom Thibodeau friendly roster.
That too.
It's got Tom Thibodeau players. It's scrappy, blah blah blah. Frank Vogel's supposedly a defensive coach.
But go on.
No, but and you've given I don't know. Whose roster is this? What coach would be like, this is the roster I want to have?
I just imagine you 10 of us watching a basketball game and you find a little a bag of chips on the ground. You're like, whose roster is this? Whose bag of chips is this?
But I don't know, what sort of coach goes. What sort of coach would do well with 3 superstars and very little else? This is not a rhetorical question. I'm I don't know who, would Mike D'Antoni be the coach for this team in an ideal world?
I think he could be a good coach for this team. I think he would, he'd be a good coach to have for the off. If you get this level of scoring on a team, he will figure out the offense that will be able to just outshoot teams every night. And then just the great coach, Popovich fucking would be great with this. Kerr would be good with this. I think Spoelstra would be good with this. I'm just trying to think of
These are all like great coaches. You know? But like they're not going to get a great coach.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's the thing. That's always the other thing as well. Like, what's the market? You
Yeah,
know? Like when you do fire a head coach, what's the market? But I think this is one of the instances where you can go in blind.
Yeah.
You can go in blindly.
Nah, you have to. You just have to because you're not going to be able to change anything this off season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And also, if this is the core you have, then Vogel's, and it's a team built to win a championship, Vogel proved he isn't the championship coach.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But to go back to he's a defensive-minded coach, supposedly. He wasn't even that with the Lakers.
Nah,
he was amazing with the Pacers. Like, I can't stress how good that team was defensively. Like Roy Hibbert, who, you know, if you're not like a basketball fan, or if you've just recently become a basketball fan, you might not know who Roy Hibbert is. And he was like hugely influential to the way that centers play now, like centers defend now. And over the past maybe 5 years, centers have had to take that step out. You can no longer drop. But like in terms of protecting the rim, he was so different from the mid 2000s, and when the game was really tight and the game has started opening up more in the 2012ish era, circa 2012. And then like he was the blueprint, and then, you know, people have mastered that role going into the future. But that's where Frank Vogel gets his
Yeah.
What, the label,
Defensive label,
defensive minded coach, but the league's just nothing like that anymore.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, I think that's enough for the Phoenix Suns. The Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, Vogel's last team.
Yeah. What a mess he left them in.
What a mess he left them. What's next for the fucking Lakers, man?
I feel better about the Lakers than I do about the Suns, in the sense of like, at least you know LeBron and AD are like a workable partnership.
Yeah.
You know, and the problem for them, it is personnel for sure. Like, I mean, you know, it's always personnel, but like the problem for them is like they're just the window of LeBron being like a championship level player. I mean, it might have closed.
Yeah.
But it is closing if it hasn't closed already. Like he is actually not the player he was 4 years ago. And that's completely fine. He's a million years old. So like I feel less worried for them in the sense that it's like, all right, you got LeBron James on your team. You just need to put as many good players as you can around him every single year and sell as many jerseys and as much TV time as you can. Like I don't think the Lakers are like, oh, we're gonna win the championship next year. Like, funnily enough, they might be like the least concerned team about that in one way, because it's like this is what we did to get LeBron James. This is what we have achieved with him so far. Maybe it's not deserving of how good a player he is. Like I'd say the Lakers, you know, resume since 2020 isn't deserving of LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
but like. Now it's like, all right, well, you're not going to trade him away just so you can like inch a bit closer towards the championship. You're just going to keep putting good players around him. So like, I don't know, maybe trade D'Lo for someone better. Like throw that 2030 pick in there.
For who?
I have no fucking idea, man.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things we were going to talk about tonight, which we're no longer going to, which was
what? Yeah, he's obsessed with this.
Him. Yeah, he said he got shouted out in the last episode.
Did he?
He didn't.
No,
I did.
He did?
Don't say his name.
He who must not be named.
Yeah.
Not Ollie.
Other housemate.
Other Ollie. I'm not calling him Ollie. So who the fuck are you gonna get for D'Lo?
Yeah.
Like who are you gonna get that's better? I think he can be on this team on a smaller contract and off the bench. I think Austin Reeves can be the 5th best starter, and I think Taurean Prince can be the 5th best starter as well. And then LeBron and AD can be better than the 2nd best starter. Like they can both be better than the 2nd best starter. I think you need that 3rd best starter. I don't know who that is exactly. I don't mind the idea of, I feel like we were talking about in the chat, but DeMar DeRozan. It doesn't really do wonders for spacing, but like, what spacing does this team have? And there's so many players you don't want to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
And DeMar can at least be in like one-on-one situations where you want him to shoot the ball. And like, you know, Taurean Prince can be a fine 3-point shooter. LeBron's 40% 3-point shooter now. Austin Reeves not a great 3-point shooter, but like you'd probably still want to keep an eye on him. You wouldn't want to fully help off him. And then I trust, and this is maybe this is also my other thing for the Lakers. I trust the Lakers' next head coach to involve Anthony Davis in the offense. If those other players aren't getting helped off of, then AD has one player on him. LeBron has one player on. But yeah, that's the other thing. I think similar thing with the Lakers with the Suns is you got to get a coach that's going to empower the role players.
Yeah, 100%. I think D'Lo is upgradable. I mean, he had a great season, and he just had a complete reality check of a playoffs. Let's call it. It's like, yeah, you can't not score in a playoff game if you're meant to be the third best player. But like, I don't know, they're the Lakers, and they actually have a first round pick, which is weird to say. So, like, they'll get someone. I don't know. Like Trae Young could happen. That's the thing about the Lakers. Like that could just happen in the off season for absolutely nothing, and you'd be like, well, yeah, of course it did. Yeah, and then it's like, I mean, then it's even like, all right, well, when LeBron retires, Trae Young's here. So
yeah, well, so our production team, when they were putting this episode together, one of the segments we were potentially going to do was trades that we want to see for the teams that have departed the NBA playoffs. My one was just AD for KD.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was the one I was going to come at you with. But it was also Jalen Hood-Schifino needed to be in there first to make the money work.
Nah, I can't part with JHS.
But that was going to be my one. AD fits the Suns timeline. KD's, I think, better than AD. I think you can pivot from this idea that AD is the big as well. Like he desperately doesn't want to be the big.
Yeah.
And you can just bring in a big, and then like we get to finally see KD and LeBron on the same team. Insert big, and then like, dude, I would trust that offense so much. An AD and KD led, a KD and LeBron led offense.
God, that would be something.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun for a season.
Yeah. If the Lakers, from what we're saying, the Lakers and the Suns might both be in positions where they're like, fuck it, why not? Like,
yeah, genuinely.
Like that's like the Suns' only route out of. I mean, yeah, it's not going to happen. But that's the Suns' only route out of this rut that they find themselves in.
Yeah.
Like they actually get younger and they actually get a player who fits better.
Yeah.
And then the Lakers are like, whatever, man. Like we're not going to not have LeBron in our team. So like we might as well just see what happens when you get these two guys together.
Yeah. And then also, let's say they retire at the same time. LeBron retires, KD leaves. Awesome, we're in a rebuild.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have, and we
didn't even have to give up our 2030.
But also, we saved face. We could be like, damn it, we're in a rebuild now.
Yeah.
We thought that was going to be the championship move, but look, we didn't trade any of our picks. Oops.
Yeah. And like, you have to get KD. Like, how do you say no to KD?
Yeah. If he's out there, you gotta get him. Yeah. And for a franchise like that, you can't just you can't get away with going into a rebuild. So I think there's that at play as well.
Even though they've spent I don't know, 50% of the last 10 years rebuilding.
A bad amount of money. Yeah. A bad amount of time. Yeah. And there's another team that's departed the NBA playoffs, the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, initial thoughts, feelings?
I saw this coming 2 games ago.
A sweep?
I called sweep on the last episode of the Deep 2.
Hang the banner.
0-4 in the first round. That first game, we did so well to capitalize on their nerves. And ultimately, we were pretty nervy as well. That was an ugly game. And we 100% could have won it. I don't think that swings the series, but I think that swings our attitude for the rest of the series, But the Thunder they just took care of business for 12 quarters from then onwards. Brandon Ingram was pretty bad. He just didn't look confident getting shots up. CJ McCollum lost all of his form. Trey Murphy was not the 15th best player in the playoffs. Najee Marshall was genuinely our best player for games 2, 3, and 4. The only guy looking at the rim. Actually attacking the defense, which is so stupid. And then, like, you know, I expected this result. Like, the post-mortem here is like, it's so sad that Zion Williamson wasn't involved in this series, because then we could have actually taken the pulse of this franchise and seen where we are. But now it's like we need to do something this offseason.
Yeah.
But like, how do we make a decision being like, well, Zion could get injured at any point? Which is always going to be true.
Yeah.
But at least if we'd seen him in a playoff series performing, then we'd be like, all right, cool. Like, we know he can do that.
Yeah, and if you saw the rest of the team with him, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, you know, if you do want to make a decision, there is going to be some sort of ambiguity in making that decision. You guys didn't crack 100 this series. Do you know how many times in the regular season you didn't crack 100?
Oh, not many? Is it many?
If any. Not many, if any. But, like, would you like to guess?
Like 6?
9, sorry.
Wow.
9. You went 3-6 in those games.
God.
And...
You know what? And that would give the Oklahoma City Thunder the best defensive rating in the NBA playoffs so far.
And then, 4 games... 4 out of 4 games.
Yeah.
So, however you want to look at it, it's either less games total than your regular season, but proportionately, it's a lot more. But yeah, didn't crack 101 time. I'm actually a bit shocked that it was a sweep.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about the? How much of this do you feel was just the Thunder are really good, and like, are they? Would you say they're contenders, or did this series not prove that?
I'd say 70-30.
Advantage.
70 to OKC. They're really good. Like, they're a complete team. Like, all of them are so confident. All of them are like, I don't know. All of them are pure hoopers. Can I say that?
You're allowed to say
Can you
that.
even say that anymore these days? And they went 11 deep like every night, and it looks good.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, like you can look up Gordon Hayward's stats. I bet he's averaging like 1.6 points, but I didn't hate when he was on the floor.
Again, like, you can, like, Yusuf Nurkic is getting paid. You can look up Gordon Hayward's stats. I think that's enough. That says it all. But I feel like, you know what's awesome? Mark Daigneault got anointed, rewarded Coach of the Year in the midst of this playoff series where he was going 11 deep. And, like, just the amount of times I feel like the NBA has awarded an award to someone who has just completely fucked it in the playoffs. And then, like, I feel like part of the reason... Embiid syndrome. But even when Tom Thibodeau won Coach of the Year a few years ago. Yeah. But yeah, Mark Daigneault, I feel like he got it for being this, like, new age leader that was, like, quite a dynamic thinker and you know, stuff like that. And then, like, to keep doing, like, his own thing. And, like, I don't know, I feel like that was cool. And I feel like that was... It just felt different to, you know, awards in the past. It wasn't, like, a continuation of... I don't know what I'm exactly trying to say here. It wasn't an exact replica of what they were doing in the season, just scaled up. There is, like, another zag, I feel, to what the Thunder did in the first round.
Yeah, for sure. And, yeah, but I think a lot of it was also just, like, all right, everyone's saying Chet's hit the rookie wall. Like, J-Dubs, you know, like, he's good, but, like, is he there yet? And he's like, well, I trust these guys. Like, they've won me, you know, 50-something games in the regular season. Yeah. And, like, both of them, I think, trusting those two players in particular, like, just paid dividends. Because, like, they're both so good. Like, Jalen Williams was better than any Pelicans player by, like, a country mile.
True.
Which, you know, isn't difficult. Chet, like, figured JV out by game 2, which, you know, again, it's not hard, but, like, JV has a million kegs and, like, 6 years in the playoffs on him or something. Like, JV's been there a lot of times is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Do you want to play a little game to finish off the Pelicans? Did you have any other thoughts on the Pelicans?
We can absolutely do that. Well, last little point on Mark Daigneault trusting his guys. Hashtag three-level scorer. Chet Holmgren led the first round in blocks per game. Yeah. By a really long margin as well.
Well, you know, that French kid wasn't there. So.
Wasn't there to get in his way. Yeah. But yeah, he's still producing in the playoffs. He's a 16-game player. I've always said it. Yeah, let's finish off with your thing.
So this segment is how low can we go?
One of the classics.
I'm gonna give you players who we could try and trade Brandon Ingram for, and you're going to tell me yes or no.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to start high. Just forewarning. Mikal Bridges.
Like, I'm saying you guys want to do that.
Well, no. This is like, is Brandon Ingram as valuable as these players? Like, can we get rid of him and bring in this player with very minimal asset movement? Like,
I don't think you want to do that.
yeah.
But yeah, I think you could do that.
You think I could do that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about the Nets as well.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think they'd want Brandon Ingram.
Yeah. Okay. It does depend on the subsidiary assets there, but I would say you could do that.
Okay. All right.
Start
Well,
a
this
bit
segment's
higher.
not going to go the way I thought it would. Well, fuck. That was my highest guy.
You should have said, what was your lowest?
I was going to say Marcus Smart.
Yeah, you could do that. Who else did you have in there?
Jeremy Grant, DeJounte Murray.
I think these are all. I think you're underselling him.
Nah, man. Nobody. I don't think anyone wants him.
Damn, the league forgot
I
about
really
Brandon
don't
Ingram.
think anyone wants him. This is also me. I kind of soft launched it on the deep too, but I think we should trade Ingram.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea, but I think his value is higher than Mikal Bridges.
That's really nice of you.
But
to
also,
say.
his value is higher than.
I totally disagree.
But his value is also higher than where the Nets are going.
Yeah.
You know, so like that comes into consideration. If Mikal Bridges was back on the Suns, hell no
Yeah.
way. If Mikal Bridges was on the Lakers, no way. But the fact that the Nets are so middling, I think that has played a factor.
The Brandon Ingram led offense would look a lot better than the Mikal Bridges led offense looked.
Exactly, which is what they would be trading for.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fuck. I think we should do that. Then.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then you can team up bloody pick 1 and 2 from X amount of years ago. Ben Simmons and Brandon Ingram. They always wanted to play in the bright lights of Brooklyn.
And then maybe Jalen can just pop over, join the party
for coffee. For coffee, at least.
It's just a 2-hour train ride.
God, the Greyhounds are getting to work out.
Should we take a quick break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break.
Next segment.
You want to talk WNBA? Maybe some WNBL? Australian Opals chat? Heck, even dabble in some EuroLeague? Find the W Basketball Show on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
The NBA moves so quickly these days, it's hard to keep up. Shams and Woj are breaking stories left and right, but the Quick Time Out is right there with them to keep you informed on the latest NBA news. Stop in and let us break it down as it happens. Find the Quick Time Out on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
For sure. You got the bottle opener there?
No, don't even worry about it.
What do you mean?
Made for a barbecue. Oh, I love the smoke that comes out as well.
Nothing like the smoke of a Crown Lager.
I'm not sure if Marco's microphone caught that, but that zip is the sound of him zipping up his beer cozy as we get into our second beer.
Getting my crownie nice and snug for the half an hour ahead.
So first half we had the Kirin Ichiban, so yummy, so yummy.
What's the flavour?
I don't think I've ever had it on tap, but I definitely will the next time it's on tap.
Okay.
In the same establishment as that,
Yeah.
and I feel like drinking.
Did you had a Sapporo at the Peacock the other day?
I had a Sapporo.
What was it like?
It was fine. The gimmick wore off. I got a schooner, of course, because I'm a fucking gentleman.
Yeah.
But the gimmick fell off. The gimmick wore off after the first half of it. And also, I was at the pub watching footy. Get Carlton and just shut the fuck up. Just enjoy the experience for what it is.
Yeah, man, we sorted you out later though, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. What do you mean?
And then the second one, a Crown Lager from the great state of oh my god, well these have a lot of alcohol in them. Hey,
Yeah.
where's Crown Lager made?
Beer? Are these not CUV? I think they are, aren't they?
Surely.
Oh, damn it. Oh, yeah, cub.com.au. Or is that Cub?
Yeah, Carlton United Breweries, a subsidiary of Foster's Group.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, great. A great pick and roll, I would say.
You really get hit by the hard screen of Crown Lager when you take that first sip.
Oh, and I would assume if we're talking 2 beers pick and roll, first beer is the ball handler.
Yeah.
A Kirin Ichiban is a ball handler.
Man. Cerebral.
A Crown Lager as a crunching screen Crown Lager. Crown Lager is short for crunching
This metaphor is so good.
Second half of the program, what do we have in store?
So we are going to do a little player draft.
Yeah.
Of playoff performers so far in the playoffs. So we're judging these first 3 to 5 games.
Yeah.
Who we think performed the best. Would you say that's the right way to sum it up?
Yeah, I would say that's the right way to sum it up. Now, Marco's done his on a sticky note, and I've been looking at it occasionally because it's on his laptop, like just below the keyboard next to the mouse pad. Mm-hmm. I cannot fucking make out a single letter.
Yeah,
you have written
terrible handwriting. Also, like what I've written here, I'm not gonna do this. Like I'm changing my mind by the second.
I like the way that you've done it.
Oh, thank you.
Though. I like that arrow. It looks like you've drawn a play.
Oh yeah.
Now, we've also
that's me swapping the positions of players.
We haven't thought of this until now, but we're gonna need to pick an order to do this. And we can finally pick the wheel, spin the wheel.
Oh, I was going to pull a coin out of my pocket and flip it.
Oh, do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let's do that. Okay, well...
wait, what's the wheel, though?
This one, so the placeholder wheel is the wheel of names. I think it's to choose a baby name.
Ah, yeah, gotcha. Hannah, Gabriel, Fatima, Eric, Dia, Charles, or Beatrice.
Great for visibility. What's your bet?
Ali.
I want to go with Beatrice. Who do you want to go with?
I'm going to go with Ali.
Okay, and there's 8 names.
Yeah, so...
Oh my god! It was... You are kidding me. That's such a planted name, bro. You want to put all those bloody diverse names, and of course
Charles wins again.
Wow. Okay. So close to Beatrice winning anyway.
Are we going to flip a coin or?
Yeah.
And are we doing? Well, sorry, a few more.
Why are we flipping a coin?
A few more ground rules.
What are we doing?
So we're drafting partially for fit, but like we're drafting a lineup, but like your 5th player doesn't have to be a glue guy. Role player.
Yeah.
That's fair, right?
Yeah, and we're drafting a lineup of playoff performers so far.
Yeah.
And to go back to why we spun the wheel and why we flipped the coin is to decide who's going first. And I assume snake order.
Yeah, I assume snake order.
Snake order
well.
assumed.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Call
it.
Heads.
Oh, tails.
Oh, I never should have gone with heads. Okay. Thank God.
All right, second and third. Well, I'll pick first. Actually, I'm gonna write them down. Here,
so you want to? So the coin flip was to choose if you wanted to go first or second.
Oh,
is that?
Yeah.
Was that what you were thinking?
What did you think it was?
I thought it was you won the coin flip. You got pick one.
Yeah. I'm getting pick one for sure.
Okay.
All right. With my first pick, I'm gonna go with an old standard here. I'm gonna go with Nikola Jokic.
Yes. Oh my god! Thank fuck, dude. Great choice, though.
He's just been incredible for like 4 seasons straight. Like he just hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
And like he literally hasn't broken a sweat in these playoffs.
Yeah.
Like he made Jamal Murray win 2 games for him. He's averaging like what the fuck is he averaging?
Well, even beyond that, the game that he got 10 points and 10 rebounds in the first quarter.
Yeah.
He didn't touch the ball in the first 6 minutes. And it was the same deal. It was like, Jamal, you do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Was that game 2?
I think that was game 2,
yeah. And then he ended up the first quarter with a fucking double-double. It was crazy.
He's averaging a triple-double. He's averaging 28, 10, and 16. Sorry, 28, 16, and 10.
Yeah.
Which is just absurd. He's not, he's not going outside of his comfort zone. He's not trying particularly hard to win these games. And he's just achieving. That game, I don't really understand what happened in game 4. Like, I don't think they really care either. But like, again, today, when it came time for them to win a game, they just did it. Like they trailed basically the whole day.
Yeah.
They they came back. They had a tight fourth quarter, and then Jamal Murray hit a go-ahead shot with 4 seconds left. It's just like way too easy for him and the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah. The numbers are pretty crazy. I didn't really fully wrap my head around that before before proceedings had begun. But I feel like every game, the Nuggets kept getting asked like, "Oh, you guys keep getting dug in this hole, and how do you feel about, not getting off to strong starts?" And I feel like all of them were like, what's like the answer you're supposed to give here?
Yeah.
And then in the back of their heads are like, it's like what are we gonna do? We'll let LeBron get his numbers, and then we'll key on in him, and then AD's having a good playoffs, but like he's also just not a problem for us.
Yeah.
And so they just didn't take them seriously. Like it's actually that simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, great noble pick for number one.
Yeah.
But at pick 2, I'm gonna pick the player of the playoffs so far. Marco there. I'm going with Anthony the Ant-Man Edwards.
Really good pick. Really good pick. That was good. That would have been my second pick.
What an awesome start to the playoffs that he has had. Him and his team have had, and he's really the leader of that team. He's the leader beyond being the best basketball player in the team. He's really riding with and for Cat. Like he's really like, no, he's the guy. He's the best at basketball. He's the best offensive player, and he's really got his back. He has that feeling that like it is that there is that feeling that he is on a mission, and like that this team is on a mission. And yeah, it's been awesome to watch him. He's really gone at everyone that's been in front of him. And although we had spoken about how poorly the Suns performed, he was coming up against Beal, Booker, and KD, and cooking them, really truly cooking them.
Yeah. Like he'll have an entire highlight reel of all three of them being unable to guard him in any situation. And he's actually at that stage where he can do everything now.
Yeah,
like,
genuinely.
I think it was in game 3, like coming out of halftime, scores were pretty even. Suns went on a little run, and then Ant just went step back three, like athletic dunk, and just like flipped the game on its head. And obviously, like Timberwolves, awesome team, like great roster, great role players, but like just being someone who can get any bucket you want when your team needs you to do it, and then just he's just been so solid defensively as well. Like he just hasn't. It hasn't been like, oh geez, Ant's so exhausted from scoring 30 points that like he's looking a bit weak on defense on this possession. He's just been so consistent in every single game. And yeah, like I think I went with Jokic because Jokic is like a fucking superhuman, but like Ant has been the most consistent player of the playoffs. He's shot well, he's been efficient, he's been a good defender, he's had huge moments, and like he's been such a leader for this team as well, like you said.
Yeah, and they've broken away and they've won every game, and it's really been behind him. He's been the driving factor in that, and we don't know if they haven't needed guidance so far, but so far he has been the one to guide them. Yeah. And a team that the team that's never really had, I don't know if we mentioned this on the pod, but first playoff series win in 20 years.
Yeah.
Like they haven't had playoff series success. They haven't had playoff success for 20 years, man. Like that's so long. And for him to be the one to lead the team, the franchise, the players, it's awesome. And he's so up for the challenge. And who knows what would happen if someone else was leading this team? You know? Who knows? Yeah. Now with my next pick, I've got a lot of options here.
Yeah,
and
it's tricky.
I actually don't know now. I think now that I'm here at the big board, I've got the.
You're gonna go for a pass, are you?
I've got phone in hand. I've got a lot of places I can take this. I've got a lot of players I want to get, but then you know what? Actually what I like about this little project. I love the names that I have on my depth chart because they're not all the usual suspects. And I'm happy to go deep into my depth chart.
Okay.
But I'm not deep into my depth chart just yet. So, okay, look. Okay. Oh fuck, man. All right. Let me take Luka.
Yeah.
Let me take Luka.
Good.
You like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
fuck.
is so far like the order it's gone in has been the order mine went in.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. There was a few. There was actually fucking. I reckon there was 3/4. Well, there's 3 players that I could have taken just then and been happy with.
Yeah.
And I think you're gonna take both of them, both of the other 2 players, and I'm gonna be a little bit unhappy. But you know, I've got a scorer.
Yeah.
I have a facilitator that is also a scorer. So points are going to be pretty easy to come by. So far, I've got one bad defender that I think I'll be able to paper up with the rest of my team. But also let's talk about the positives of Luka. It's his preferred matchup, which is the team that has 6 players that can guard him. And the 2 games I've seen in totality have been the 2 Mavs wins, and he's just been so handily taking care of them as usual. And I don't know. I just feel like I've been. Everyone's watching the playoffs, or more people are watching a higher proportion of the games, and I feel like as much as numbers are backing what we're saying up, I think everyone's kind of watching the same thing. Eye test is playing a factor in this, and he's just got that. He's just got that about him. He's got that old thing, I dare say it. But he's got that posture, and he's got that I'm the best player on the court.
Yeah.
I'm the best player on the court and in this series. And he's even gotten fucking Kyrie into lines.
Yeah.
And he's leading this team, and there might be 2-2, but the Clippers are playing really well as well. This is probably the best series as well, I would say, in terms of following along, storylines, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it's like
the only one.
Well, there's 2 competitive series, and one of them involves the Orlando Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So there are only 7 series in the first round of this season.
Yeah, why did they do that?
Because I think it's worth saying, when I was putting this list together, I'm like, but the Mavs have lost 2 games, they're 2-2 against a team that they're definitely better than, that is a good matchup for them. Should we really reward him for that? And it's yes. He's the biggest guy on the court every single night. And Kawhi Leonard is out there sometimes. Paul George is out there sometimes. James Harden is out there sometimes. And you're this is the guy who looks like he's got the most playoff experience.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, James Harden has been incredible.
He's been so good.
He's on my list.
He's on mine as well. That's one of the ones I was more pleased about.
Yeah. And maybe I'm not gonna have enough guards to give Harden his flowers. but and Luka is outclassing him even in the losses. You're still this is still the guy. And man, have you looked at his numbers? They're actually not that impressive for Luka Doncic.
And you want to know why? This is the other thing that you can't just go off numbers for.
Exactly.
Their scores have been so much lower as well than the other series.
Yeah.
So and he's still putting up fucking 30 in most of these games, in 2 of these games.
Yeah, because when nothing's going for the Mavs, he's taking a step back 3. That's how they work. Oh God, I really hope they win this series just so he can go a little bit further.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think that should be the prevailing feeling coming out of this matchup.
Yeah, I'm actually a lot more happy with these 2 picks now as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you got 4 and 5.
Oh, this is hard.
Now that this has gone, it's also gone exactly how I thought it was going to go. But now I do wish I had 1, 4, 5. Now I actually really wish that. But go on, you got 4 and 5 here.
This is really hard.
Don't doubt yourself. You got a great list there.
Thanks, man. All right. I think I'll take a guard here.
Which one though?
But there's 2 that I want to take.
Yeah.
And I guess I could take them back to back.
You could take them back to back.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to.
I think I'm gonna take Shea.
Okay. Good choice.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Shea.
Also next on my depth chart.
Fuck. God, get him.
We're seeing the same thing.
Exactly right.
You
Yeah,
got
we're watching the same player.
You got those new glasses.
Look, the Pelicans aren't the most, formidable foe, let's say. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is also very inexperienced 25-year-old, leading the most inexperienced roster in playoff history from the 1 seed. And yeah, he's just looked like a leader in every single game. Like, it's the same thing where, there hasn't been any drop in confidence. There hasn't been any sort of like faltering in his own ability. He's such a bucket getter. He's such a good defender, and like, fuck, he's had an easy assignment in the first round. Like, like having to guard CJ or Trey in the corner is like very easy for someone like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But it's just that thing where there are when I was watching the first 2 games. And you're watching Brandon Ingram, he's like searching in the mid-range, he gets up to his spot, he hits it, and you're like, wow, that's so cool. And then Shai just goes down the other end, he hits a step back 3. Like, it's absolutely nothing to him, when early in the shot clock, when the scores are level. And it's like, I think only truly great players can do that and get away with that.
Yeah.
And he's like very, very, very easily filling those shoes. The only reason he's not higher up this list is because like he hasn't had to do that much. Like he's averaging 38 minutes a game, which is like, it's pretty much the lowest for any superstar. in the first round.
It's one of the only ones going through the list here that doesn't start with a 4.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So like, I don't think that's just a knock on him. That's just like, he hasn't had the opportunity to he hasn't had the opportunity to do what Ant's done. Like, he hasn't even had the opportunity to do what Luka's done. Like, Luka's played in like some like really close games in this first round. So like, but like that, I think that should be more of a worry for whoever's going to face OKC in the second round, that it's like, this guy's just got so much more basketball to play.
Yeah. Low 3-point guy.
Yeah. But that's like his normal thing.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
it's always a bit shocking though.
Yeah.
4 attempts, 1 made per game.
But like, you would never let him take one.
Yeah. That's true. He could be the best in the league at, if your team has just hit 2 baskets in a row, or if the other team has just hit 2 baskets in a row, and we need to stop their run or force them to call a timeout. You just give him the ball and you just trust he'll get to the elbow and just like somehow get 3 meters of separation.
Yeah, exactly right.
And like break his defender's ankles, but like it just doesn't seem like he's even started sprinting.
Yeah.
And just stop. You've seen it a million times. So a noble pick there, Marco. A noble pick there. You've also got pick 5 in this draft, I'm hearing.
Now, I think I'm going to take another guard here. I think I have to.
You can.
I think I have to. And I'm going to go for Nikola Jokic's teammate, Jamal Murray.
Oh, there you go. Jamal Murphy.
What's with this guy?
Someone get him on the phone. What is with him?
He's got to be the most 16-game player in the league.
Absolutely.
It's actually absurd how good he is when the game matters.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The most occasions guy of all time.
It's absolutely crazy. And his numbers are not standing out.
Yeah.
He's not shooting well. He's not averaging like a heap of points or anything like that. But it just doesn't matter because he's won the Nuggets 2 games directly. Not just he played really well and they won. It's like, no, he's scored the winning basket in 2 of the 4 games that they won in the series, and he's just looked completely fine, mature, and comfortable in every single other game. I don't know. It's this playoffs, we're gonna talk a lot about how LeBron, KD, Steph, all in Cancun by now, whatever, blah blah blah. Jamal Murray is one of the more experienced playoff players.
Oh my god, that is such a good point.
You'd probably be if you're the guys who've been there the most times, not just games played or whatever, but who've been in the moment. Jamal's probably top 10, top 5.
Yeah.
You got Jokic, and you got
most of them are his teammates. The amount, in terms of series 1. Yeah. There's not many. The Celtics have won a few.
Yeah. The Celtics that's a different story. There.
But the 4-5 matchup on the other side haven't really won any lately. Haven't won any, I don't think.
Yeah.
And then the the Pacers Bucks, that's shaping up for the Pacers to win that.
Yeah,
They also
yeah.
have only just made the playoffs for the first time, I'm hearing, ever. First time in the Caitlin Clark era. Philly Knicks, I guess there's some there, but I think
No, but you know,
can go
like
through 'em all.
it's not. I'm not saying he's the most experienced guy there, but he's fully in the mix of
definitely
guys who have been there before, who've done it before. Like he's been to the conference finals more times than Joel Embiid has.
Yeah,
Like, he's been to the conference finals more times than I don't know Paul George has.
Yeah. Same time.
Yeah, maybe the same time.
Oh no, wait, they made it in the bubble? Was
Yeah,
that
they made it in the
conference
bubble.
finals?
Yeah.
Then it might still be the same.
Yeah, but you get the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
He's fully accomplished and he's won his team 2 games single handedly.
Dude, keep convincing yourself.
Yeah.
All right, so it's back to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
just interesting here. Just pause for a second.
Sorry, you go.
Only Western Conference players so far.
No, Anthony the Ant-Man Edwards and Luka.
No, only Western Conference.
Oh, I thought you said only Western Conference player so far, as in Jamal.
No, the other 4 were also from the Western Conference. Yeah.
Well, let me break that right now.
Pick 6.
Pick 6 now. Fuck, man, I actually really want to pick him. There's actually a lot. This is what I'm talking about, bro. You know what? Fuck it. I'm picking Pascal Siakam.
Fuck! Bastard!
Was he your quote-unquote sleeper?
He was my...
Bro, how good has he been? He has been fucking out of this world.
Oh my God.
Questions around Tyrese's health. Whatever. He's been the best player in that series.
100%.
And he's been so
100%.
fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know when Pascal, post ring and then there's middling Raptors seasons. It was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's just completely recaptured that form. He's you know what? He's dazzling to watch. And actually, this is not at all to do with basketball. Well, it is to do with basketball, but have you noticed? So most players tuck in their jerseys. Pascal does the most lazy half tuck in the front side and lets the backside hang.
Really? I've actually never noticed that.
Hopefully he does it next game, but it hangs so fucking low, which is just something I realized after watching him kill it in the postseason. And that reaction really affirmed a lot. Okay, so what do you like so much? I was
really banking on him being available in the 4th round.
Yeah.
He's been he has made the Pacers look like they know how to defend for the first time all year. Yeah. There were some moments in because they lost game 1. Did they lose game 1? Yeah, they lost game 1 and then won game 2. And in game 2, I was like, I think they're going to win this series. And they were just game 2. I really thought they were going to win. And obviously, injuries have really helped me with that with that pick. But he was just having that just having a good defender on your team, and Siakam, he's more than a good defender. He's more than a point of attack guy or a help guy.
He's a boyfriend.
Yeah, he's he organizes your defense. He holds it together. And it's so much more evident now when he's not on the Raptors, where everyone has had this defensive mindset drilled into them, and he's like, oh no, I really have to get these guys organized and make up for a lot of their mistakes and things. And then he's just been having 30 burgers on the other end of the floor. And I mean we're talking about how players have performed and not, why they've performed, but he has benefited from the Bucks having absolutely no one who can guard him.
Yeah, that's true.
The absence of a certain big Greek fella has definitely helped him because I'm sure he would be making his life a lot more difficult. But it doesn't matter, man. You dealt the cards you dealt. And he has. I think he's just been miles better than Tyrese, in terms of importance of this team winning. And I don't want to put Tyrese down too much because again, he also won them a game single-handedly. But all of this has been behind Siakam, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And then also Tyrese got some sort of injury. He was questionable for one of the games. Then he was a late in. So he's nursing that, but I feel
he's been questionable since the All-Star break.
True. But I feel there is some ushering along the Pascal is doing with a franchise that has not really been in. They haven't made the playoffs, have they? Since Miles Turner hasn't made a play.
I thought they were like, I thought they were the 8 seed with Sabonis.
And Oladipo.
Yeah.
And I assume Turner.
Wait, no, it wouldn't be Sabonis and Oladipo because. Oh no, it would have been.
No, they came together.
Yeah, that's
Wait.
right. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
do a
I think so.
Korea, you can just. Oh, I love the new basketball reference. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! He's made it so many times.
Yeah.
They all seem to be 1-game series.
Nah, they're all
Sweeps.
Nah, they weren't they kind of the Orlando Magic 8 seed for a while?
They were the amount of games played. This is so indicative. From Miles Turner in 15-16 through 1920. So sorry, from 2016 to 2020, they made it every year.
Mm-hmm.
Miles Turner's games played 7-4, 7-4-4. I wonder if they made it out the first round.
That's funny. Well, let's say that they're about to make it out of the first round.
Here's
for the first
hoping.
time since Reggie Miller. Since Paul George.
Yeah.
So not that long.
So that two things. Hopefully that happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Also, my work from home day, 9 a.m. ruck up. They got Philly Knicks. 11:30 a.m. You assume that game is finishing at that point, and amazing. There's no game in between. But then Pacers Bucks 11:30, and I'm working from home.
Bro,
That means I don't even get to put my headphones in.
Do you know I'm working from home tomorrow?
Oh my god,
I've got my one day every 3 months that I work from home tomorrow.
No shit, Sherlock.
So I will be watching that as well.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah.
How are you? How do you feel about working from home?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
He has Donnie, who's sitting on me right now. He's got a vet appointment tomorrow,
okay.
and I didn't even book it knowing that I was working from home. Tomorrow, but like serendipity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really stoked. Like, I actually have a lot of work to do. That's why I'm working from home. But like, I'm gonna get so much more work done.
It's always the case. Man, today when I did my 62 day, dude, I got 3 hours of work done before people started getting to the office.
Yeah.
And you know how much work I got done after that? I reckon I got a good 6 hours of. I actually do reckon I got 7 hours of work done, and I reckon 5 of them were between 6 and 9, and the other 2 were in the other 5 hours.
Wow, go figure.
Yeah.
Who you got with pick 7, Lucas?
Sorry, this is another point I want to make for your last pick.
Yeah.
Jamal Murphy. They didn't rush him back, but they played him in game 5. They had to win that game. If they were going to bring him back, KCP also, did he not finish the game?
He didn't finish the game. It was there was a lot of Reggie Jackson in the
A lot of
fourth
Reggie
quarter.
Jackson.
That's all I remember.
And the depth issues, there are depth issues, I think. I think that everyone's right in saying that.
In terms of like if players get injured. Like,
If players get injured.
yeah.
But then like if players aren't fully healthy, then it's a lot more Michael Porter Jr. And it's like, ooh, okay. We were happy with him being, this microwave scorer. But I really didn't think they were going to win the game. I think they needed to come out and treat it like a game 7.
Yeah.
And that they needed game 5 to be like a perfect game, not wire to wire, but a comfortable margin at any given point. And I was like, shit, if they don't win this game, they've lost the ring. I was at that point. So thank God they won that game.
Yeah, 100%.
So now it's pick 7. And you have 2 picks coming up after this. And then I rounded out with 1. And you know what? Let me take a sip of my beer.
I really hope you're going to pick who I think you're going to pick.
For my sake or for your sake?
For your sake, because I'd love to pick him with the 5th pick.
Okay. So...
Oh my God, I gave it away. It's a guy.
All right. Going off the vibes of my last pick, I'm sticking in the Eastern Conference.
Oh, okay.
I'm going with Tyrese Maxey.
Damn, I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. I
Okay.
like that. He wasn't, I don't think he would have made my board, but I like it. Yeah.
So I'm going with scoring, shooting, putting the ball in the hole. I think he was the best player in the series other than Embiid's 50. But I think he was the best player in the series. I think he's been the best player in the series otherwise. I think he's been the most threatening player on that 76ers team. And he's just risen to the calling, and yeah, I just thought when I was making my backcourt depth chart, there were 3 other guys on it, and I think they're all putting up better numbers than him, but I don't think that they're having the same effect that he has been having. And so I think that played into it. I was like, what? Do they they are able to rely on so many other players, these other guys. But the Sixers have been pretty bad offensively, and even, you know, an MVP adjacent player in Joel Embiid has needed to rely on someone. And Maxey was just so happy to be that player.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he's just been such a threat offensively. So yeah, I'm going with Tyrese Maxey, rounding out my backcourt.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, like I think he's just kept him above water as well. Like I think without him playing at this level, like this team would be getting dealt a much worse beating by the Knicks as well. You know, yeah, and you're right. Like he's looked. The problem for the Knicks, like obviously Embiid's a problem. Like he had 50 points the other night. Right?
Yeah.
After trying to murder Mitchell Robinson. But like for me, the problem for the Knicks has been like, because it's like, all right, Embiid, we know what to do with him. We throw centers at him, we double him, blah 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 blah. With Maxey, like I feel like they haven't had an answer for him. Like they haven't figured out like, all right, we'll put this guy on him. All right, we'll throw this scheme at him. Or we'll do this. And they've sort of been like, fuck. Well, I guess we just have to live with Maxey having 30 points as well as Embiid having 30 points.
Yeah.
And to their credit, like they've figured out other ways to beat Philly, you know, like while those two guys have good performances.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's credit to Maxey that like you're not unsolvable, but you're a tricky to solve problem for a team as good as the Knicks. Like,
Yeah, man. I honestly think I actually think the Knicks, I think the 76ers had a better strategy than the Knicks in game 1 and 2. So for the Knicks to come out of that 2-0, I was amazed.
Yeah.
Like, you would have to be happy with Josh Hart beating you in that way.
Crazy, man.
In like 3 after 3 after 3. Like if that's you're not going to be happy about it. But like if those are the circumstances, it's like fuck, man. We stopped Brunson. We got their offense looking a bit janky.
Yeah.
If this happens, this happens.
Yeah, and then like what was it? Game 2 was the DiVincenzo game winner. Was it? And like he was pretty average, and then he just was like, all right, I'm just going to win the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck the Knicks. But like. They keep winning games like this as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing. There is a randomness to their wins. It's like almost a theme.
Yeah, it's repeatable. It's repeatable randomness for sure. It's like, Miles McBride is going to hit 6 threes, or Dante DiVincenzo is going to go for 15 in the fourth quarter, or Josh Hart is going to have like a 20-20-20 game or something like that. Like, yeah. Fuck, what a team.
All right. Well, you've got oh my god, Jesus. I just clicked on so first of all, why is it so hard to navigate to the playoffs per game stat page on Basketball Reference? But also 2024 playoff leaders, points, rebounds, assists, win shares, Nikola Jokic are all 4.
No, he's not leading in points.
In totals.
Oh, okay. Because he's played 5, right? Yeah. Hey, tricky.
Okay, your last pick.
Well, my 2 last picks.
Your 2 last picks.
All right, I'm gonna go with a loser here.
Whomst?
I'm gonna go with LeBron James.
Oh, I like it. I think I'm going, but I like the pick.
I mean, you know, what more can you say?
LeBron and Jokic.
He's just been so good. Like nothing wrong with the Lakers is his fault. Like,
yeah, true.
Like he's done absolutely everything asked of him. He's scored, he's had like really good playmaking games, he's defended to the best of his 40-year-old ability. Like, you know, he's been relatively efficient. He's really tried in big moments, like he's had big quarters, he's had them surge. He's done everything that like he's done over his whole career in the playoffs. But like the Denver's game plan has been like whatever. Like just like
go get your numbers, king.
Yeah. Like let that happen. No, but they don't let it happen at all. Like they've got such a good defense, and like they're not letting him waltz to the rim or anything like that. But like it hasn't translated to winning, which I guess is a knock. But like, if we're going purely on performances, I want LeBron on my team.
Sorry, so who's your team right now?
I have Jokic, Shea, Jamal Murray.
That's right.
And LeBron James.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe you've heard of him.
I think the other thing that goes in the favor of picking LeBron in a task like this is that he looks so good with other players like around him, because he actually has just been so good in the playoffs. Like he's just been so good. He was easily the best player. Like how many times are we gonna have this conversation where it's like AD, the guy that's 50 years younger than him, should be the leader of this team, or like LeBron should be helping AD shouldn't be helping LeBron. But LeBron he's finding this gear, and it's just like he's never lost it, and he was playing absurdly well. He is like, if he's the second best player on your team, which he should be with a guy like AD, if he's the second best player on your team, then you should be booking yourselves in for a deep playoff run, or like you should be booking yourselves in for a playoff series win. But I've loved watching him play in the first round. I thought he was so good. He was really like, he was the second best player in that series behind Jokic.
100%.
And you know, and that's the series that Jamal Murphy was picked before him.
Who got picked before him. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, there you go.
LeBron, 0 game winners.
And your last pick.
And this is hard because there's a guy on the board who I really want to pick, and he wouldn't be the best fit, but I think we could make it work.
Okay.
Or I could pick a guy for fit.
Well, you can do whatever you want. It's your team. It's your ring on the line. Do you think you'll be able to do this? To be able to work it out?
100%.
All right.
No, I have no idea. I'm not a coach. I'm not Frank Vogel. I'm gonna pick Rudy Gobert.
No, fuck. Oh, I thought this was guaranteed to be my center. Oh, dude, I was gonna pick him instead of Maxi.
I could trade you in.
Well, who else are you looking at?
I'm looking at a wing otherwise. So,
yeah.
Well, all right. Should we have this discussion then?
Okay. We have a trade to announce.
Rudy, he's been the best performer. Like now that I've gone through, like if we're going best available, it's Rudy, I think.
Yeah, easily.
He's been incredible. He's been incredible defensively. Like you said, he's been really good offensively. Like, and like you're actually believing that he can like keep doing this all playoffs long as well. Which you haven't in the past.
Yeah,
you have not believed that in the past. My two other options here, I really want to pick J-Dub because he, like, if we're just going performances, like a fucking sophomore plays in his second year.
I think so. Yeah,
that's fucking crazy. Like,
that's true.
He's averaging he's gone into the playoffs and averaged like 22 points on, like 50% from the field, 40% from three, essentially, which is just like crazy. It's just crazy. And he's been a good defender. He's executed. He's looked confident, and he's fucking a second-year player. Like he's made. He was the second best player in that series, or Jaden McDaniels.
Ooh,
that was gonna be my sexy pick.
No, it's a sexy pick, and you know what? You haven't gone for a sexy pick. You know the one. Do you know why I said Shea hasn't shot many threes?
Yeah,
it was so you didn't pick Gobert later. But also when we were flipping the coin,
there's bad spacing on that.
I was like, if I get pick 1, I have to pick Jokic. If I get pick 2, I think Gobert will be available at pick 10. So I've built my whole roster with that in mind. But no, it's not a league where it's not a league for making friends. You pick your 5 players there.
Yeah. But I could take Jaden McDaniels.
You could take any of these players.
Then that would be my Trey Murphy that would come to bite me in the ass.
They would, but we are picking for fit as well.
Yeah.
Gobert has been unbelievable, man. He's been so good. He's been really active guarding. We talked about this at the start, but he's been such a good defender, and in a way that we just haven't seen before. There's as many clips as you want to pull from as many seasons, but in terms of playing and being such a strong figure in a playoff series, we've never seen this, and we've seen him get played off the floor so many times in the playoffs. So then, to see him completely address all of the things that have been issues for him in the past. I mean, this is like the main thing I criticize him of, and he's just handled it so well. Like there was absolutely no learning curve. It's just this is just the job I have to do. And he just didn't. I feel like he didn't make one mistake.
No.
Like he was either they made or they missed the shot, but you were happy with the way he defended it.
Yeah.
So yeah, great first round so far, Rudy.
Yeah. I'm going to take Rudy.
All right, so now I have to pick a center, and it's looking like I'm going with Joel Embiid, but I don't want to pick two sixes. I can't pick two sixes.
Don't pick Embiid.
Could I possibly?
Can't you have Siakam in center?
Do you reckon?
I reckon for this exercise you can.
All right. Well, then you're not gonna
Come
like.
on, I've got Rudy and Jokic on the floor together. Like,
You do have Rudy and Jokic on the floor together.
but how good would that look?
Well, the spacing actually could be an issue for you.
Yeah.
It is kind of just Jamal that's like pure perimeter.
But we're going vague fit here.
Vague fit, yeah. Well, the next player in my front court depth chart you're gonna love. It's Josh Hart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. But I'm not going to pick him. I'm going to need someone
The original Trey Murphy.
the original trader. I want to go through my backcourt depth chart. Below Tyrese Maxey, I had next Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
Who I really fucking wish I picked instead of Tyrese Maxey now. Actually, no, I don't.
No.
James Harden was next.
And he was above Kyrie for me, actually. Yeah.
And then I had Damian Lillard next.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No Brunson?
Nah, Brunson has had one good game.
But he's averaging 30 points or something.
Yeah, because of that one good
because
game.
that one good game.
He was what wasn't he like 14 of 70 shooting at one stage, or like 14 of 50 shooting at one stage?
I believe that.
Nah, not Brunson. But the player I'm gonna pick, I'm not fucking actually. I actually couldn't pick Embiid after this playoff series. I've already slewed Anthony Davis enough to pick him. The next center down would be Bam Adebayo. Miles Turner's been really good in the playoffs as well.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not picking two paces.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can pick another player from a series that's down 3-1. And that was another thing I was trying to keep hush was I was trying to pick teams that have been winning and players that were on winning teams.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Jason Tatum. I think it's a bit... Yeah, it's one of those picks, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, leader of the best team in the East. I really didn't want to pick a Celtic after the Heat won a game because it made me feel like the 67-15 record, regular season record.
Yeah.
Was it 67?
Yeah.
That's outrageous. It just made it feel a little bit cheaper, especially when 64 and 18.
Shit, sorry.
That's we're fucking an hour and a half into this. I didn't want to reward the Celtics after dropping a game to this Jimmy Butlerless Miami Heat, but with the cards that have been laid out in front of me, I mean, he's still having a fucking incredible series. Yeah, like Jason Tatum's baseline will be a really good basketball player and a really good performer. And I guess I get to round out my roster with what I think we started this. Did we start by sending the Suns fishing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we started with the Suns.
Yeah.
In terms of the basketball chat. And the first thing I said was, you got to go small. And look what's laid out in front of me. I've got the same 5. I've got,
what, 6'5", 6'8".
And we're going to run. We're going to fucking run. My center, Pascal Siakam.
Man, you've actually got such a...
fast break team.
Yeah, you have such a good fast break team.
And you know what? Luke is getting rebounds, and he's just touchdown passing to any of these guys.
Right, exactly.
So
but good luck. Rudy's fucking camped in my pain.
Yeah, Rudy's camped in
your
pain.
Even on offense.
Yeah, and also, what about Nikola Jokic?
Yeah. He's good at getting back.
I mean, in terms of scoring.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't really have anyone for any of these. I don't have no one for Jokic. But you know what? Begs the question. No one has anyone.
You might not even have anyone for LeBron.
We're not worried about LeBron.
We're going like, what? No, you know what? Ant's probably guarding LeBron. And you live with that.
Yeah, and he's loving. He's absolutely loving the assignment.
Well, I'd trade Tatum for Rudy for you if you wanted to. Like we'll stick with this, but like just
that makes your team really good.
Yeah, but it makes your team really good.
It actually makes my team exactly what I wanted it to be. Because then, that was also why I picked Luka. I love the gall that you picked Rudy.
Yeah,
I'm so
I
happy
could
you went
not.
for it.
I couldn't believe he'd fallen that far. Like,
Yeah, well, I was hoping he was going to fall one further.
Oh,
I also couldn't believe you picked 2 centers in this economy.
Yeah.
Also, poor Rudy.
Jokic started as a power forward.
Yeah, and Kat did as well.
Rudy can play the Aaron Gordon role. Like.
But also, poor Rudy leaves this team where he's got 2 centers to another team where he's got 2 centers.
And he has to play the power forward. Well, I'll go behind the kimono for me as well. If you had the first pick and picked Jokic, I was going to pick Ant and then Rudy, I think.
You were going to Rudy third.
I was just going to lock down the center. Like,
Wow.
Well, actually, because I guess you would have picked Jokic, so you wouldn't have taken Rudy. I probably would have probably would have let him fall to 5th as well.
Yeah. I was like, I've either got I've got a really good center either way.
Yeah.
And I either get to pick 4 really good players and get the second best center who's really the 5th best player in the playoffs so far. Maybe that's a bit generous.
Yeah, and the best fit.
You know what? I actually think he might be the 5th best. You know what? Let's go 6th. I'll go 6th. I'll say Ant is number 1. It's pretty crazy that he's 6th and one of his teammates is ahead of him. Ant. I want to say Ant Jokic.
Yeah.
You probably are saying Jokic. Ant.
No, I think Ant Jokic. I just picked Jokic because you have to.
Yeah, I go Ant Jokic, Luka, Siakam, Shea, Gobert.
Yeah, I like that. that. Yeah.
Would you potentially switch?
I'd probably put Shea above
Siakam
just because they've really taken care of business.
That's fair.
But Siakam's been so good.
But also,
you got to have Siakam in the top 5. I think that's really important.
This is the other thing that Shea has been hamstrung by. The Tatum pick has been hamstrung by. We're rewarding Siakam because he's like playing so beyond his means, but Shea's baseline is so good that it's like it's not causing any headlines, but he still is just doing so much for the team. Tatum's baseline is so good.
Yeah.
You know, same deal.
I think that's the reason the Celtics barely got a mention tonight is because like no one has like. I mean, Derek White had a huge game today. Like, he was maybe 7th on my guard depth chart.
Yeah.
But like none of them have had to play beyond their means.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Porzingis has been pretty good. Jaylen Brown has been pretty good. Drew's been pretty good. White's been pretty good. Tatum's been pretty good. And yeah, like they're gonna win the series 4-1. I don't know how we're gonna look at that aberration in game 2. Like, hopefully it means that they fucking get thumped in the second round or something. But like.
Truly.
Yeah, like nobody's had to perform for them to win games. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. So there you have it. So that is the official Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show first round of the playoff series player draft.
That was really fun. We definitely could have done that as the only part of the show.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I should have said this at the start so people were listening. I feel like this is one of the ones I really want to have interaction with. Like, I would love to know what people think about our teams.
Maybe we should get Sean to make us a graphic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That can be a
Should
good
we
idea.
trade Rudy and Tatum for the graphic?
Should we trade Rudy and Tatum for the graphic? Nah,
it's funnier like this.
It's funnier like this.
Yeah.
And then because then people will be like, what the fuck? What happened there?
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to listen now.
Yeah. And also, if he does it by position and then Tatum's on Jokic, so funny.
Yeah, surely you'd have to do it by position.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually don't mind Tatum on Jokic as
Really?
well. Yeah.
He did well. Yeah, he does well on those big guys.
But
Yeah.
also, just so long, the only thing I can imagine is him being having like poor body language in the post. But also, Tatum doesn't exactly have that DAWG in him.
No.
But he thinks he does.
Yeah.
And that might be enough.
That's the TikTok for sure.
All right, should we nip that in the bud then?
Yeah. Good chatting to you, Lucas. I'll see
Great
you next
chatting to
time.
you. Bye.